What's up, YouTube fans? Big up on yourself. Thank you very much for tuning in. Big up yourself, viewers and listeners on YouTube and Facebook. Bless up on yourself. Thank you very much for tuning in. So we are here with another video, my people. We're gonna be discussing mhm, the coach's impact over the past year that he has been a part of the national setup. So we're gonna have a little discussion on that matter because some things need to be revealed, and yeah, the people them need to hear some things. You understand? So that is it. And before we get any further, just remember to share the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, so that you can become a part of the family. Yeah, and bless up yourself. And definitely, we look forward to a good discussion. Yeah. So I'm just gonna run the intro so more people forward.
Your style and your flavor make the city rock. They must say the season come out with a bang. Coach Minzy, best round here. Remember that.
Yeah, people. So we're back. We are back. Style and flavor. Make the city lock. No, but how now see it and it good in the title. Me I see it good in the title, Impact in the title. So how now see it wrong something. Let me see pan. Oh, it not fixed on YouTube. It can't fix yourself. Let me see if it can fix. Let me see if it can fix. Uh, Hold on there. Cause me correct it already, somebody tell me say it there and me correct it. So let me see. Yeah, it correct here, so. I don't know people. But I've got correct it when time the video finish. Cause it now change now. It was I saw it today and I fix it and I don't know what go on. I just 1-0. You understand? I just 1-0, but a quick easy fix that. Easy fix that. Yeah. So don't watch that right now. So big up coach. Win reading there. Hey Toki. You know what I rate you for that. I rate you for that in a Toki. You know why? Enough people that take that like a miss up there and take it for something different. But you would take it and run some qualms with it. You understand? A big deal that man. You see me I say? So big up yourself Toki. And a long time they both on the coach's desk. Long time I follow a movement. Yeah man. Bless up yourself. Fresh God, bless up yourself, Capo. Mm. Big up Fresh God. And all the people who are on, yeah, just remember say I ask you to like the video. You understand? Share the stream. Jobless, what go on? Big up yourself. Big up yourself, jobless. Mm-hmm. Rob Smith, what go on? Weatherman coach. What is the reading for tomorrow? Boy, we don't know. No. GS, what go on? We don't know people. The everything I show correct pan the stream yard impact. I don't know why it a show. So YouTube thing going on once you make one mistake and you correct it, once it schedule is like it no one change. I don't know. But like me say, we fix that afterwards. Mark Chambers, what go on? Yeah, man. The P and the O the same place, you know. And there's nothing for worry about, man. I'm not worry about that, man. That are the least of the problem right now. Doreen, what go on, Doreen? Where's the Jason world record? Doreen, what go on? Big up yourself, Doreen. All the way over in Colorado. Bless up yourself. Place must cool right now, not you, Doreen? Yeah, coach. Forward ever and backwards never. Big up. Yeah, Lolo. So, as me did I say the other day, people, I went, hey, the week run quickie, man. No Sunday we are talk about this. The 1 year. So of course, I know say me a farmer, seeing, and we love going in the field and we dig. You understand? And we dig. You go on in the Rob Smith. Rob Smith, you go on in there, yeah, probably. So me that you me love going in the field and dig, and find out certain information, seeing? And the people them a tell me say I know 1 year at Devon Porter, where Devon Porter there? Devon Porter, you are tell me say I know 1 year. AM Henry, Fresh God, everybody has signed 1 year. But me do my investigation, Jason and Fresh and Rob Smith. I'm understand, I'm get the information. See, so the man signed him contract in a September. That's why he was able to go and play that friendly against Argentina. So everything, like, because the Adidas contract, remember, I think Adidas contract dropping in January. So that's why they wait to unveil everything. But all in all, the contract was signed in September. So that's why a 1 year, the great dentist, Hallgrimsson, a coach the team. Yeah? So Devon Porter, anyway there, ensure you watch this. Fresh God, big up yourself. Hope you get this. AM Henry, hope you get this as well. A 1 year my work. So the contract signed already from September. Seeing? And because of the Adidas deal, them just unveil everything one time. You get what me I say? Yeah, man, me a farmer, man. Me love go dig up the ground for find out what go on. You see me? Mm-hmm. So we're gonna talk about the 1 year since the boss a coach, because where's the rich po? You I know the puppet me hear that, but you're speaking and I see no strings. What not talk about? Yeah, Rob Smith I talk about this puppet thing. Eh? I don't know. You know string up. You understand? I don't know about this puppet thing. Rich po. I don't know. Anyways, so like me say, I go do my investigation. Me's a youth. Me have an investigative mind. I will need to find out what go on, and we can come back and tell the people them the right thing. See? So that is that. Um, for me, Coach Hallgrimsson. You see, just half of the bat, you can't say him nobody no. But, but, but there are some questionable things when it comes on to in-game management that I have a problem with. Yeah. Remember, people, coaches just come and talk about the players are not too happy with Hallgrimsson's tactics. Remember, sir, me can talk about that. Seeing? And we talk about it and we discuss it. So the players, they weren't too happy with how we deal with the thing. Seeing? And they make some adjustment apparently. So now you are an attacking team. How it look? As CC would have said, how it look? How the attacking team look? Me no know. Me no know what go on. But when you look upon it still, his 1 year in the thing still, as I would say, off the bat, it not bad. But there are a lot of rooms for improvement in his coaching. With a matter of fact, with everything you do in your life, there's always room for improvement. But some of the decision making that the coach make, it have me thinking. The last time we talked about the substitution, we heard that there's a window that the substitution has to be made within, and you have to wait until that window. I don't know if it is the same thing that transpired with the game, the second game, because I see when the ball went out, and I mean substitutions were on the sideline, and them not. I'm not certain if for the fourth official I try block the thing, or the coach I buy more time. I know you have some coaches where wait until the 70th minute, 65th minute, 68 minutes to make changes. But I believe that sometimes you have to move past that route, that structure that you create, to make not an impulsive decision, but one you would call um what you'd call that. Not impulsive, but a decision that can help the team right away. A forward decision. You understand? You understand? So it is where it is at now. And make we try for grade Grimmer right now, because when we look at professionalism, from what I've heard from good sources, is that, well, the players them even said that themselves. Them like the professionalism that this coach brought around the team. You know, how they do things, whatever they bring, and such like that. It feels like they're at their club still. You understand? Especially the ones from overseas. They still believe that they're at their club because of the whole professional atmosphere that is created. So him get good grades on that. Tactically, look like him get good grade on that, because the players them did not talk about it. You get what I say? The coach basically have some tactical nuances that the players them never like. It was like a situation where it was too much defensive, too much on the defensive end. The players them never really rock that. You get what I say? They want to play fluid football. The adjustment was made. But did we see fluid football? Or is it that some players need to get the axe? Or is it that some players need to just leave? Sometimes you do your thing here, you just have to just leave, because what you're really offering at this moment is not helping. You get what I say? But one of the things I am suspecting that is happening, I've never met Grimmer personally. Seeing? Me and him never sit down and talk. I mean, shook his hand a few times at games that I went, like Premier League games and so forth. Yeah. But that is as far as it goes. But my thing is that I think I kind of get this nonchalant, laid back kind of demeanor, deportment, attitude from Grimo. Seeing? And I don't know if that is affecting how the team plays. I don't know. I've not done a survey. I've not done a, you know, poll to see if that really affect how the team plays. So in itself, boy, Grimo, that nonchalant attitude. But I guess is it his culture to behave like that. He in the last game that we played, he was a little bit animated on the sideline. More while him just lean up on the bench and him just a fool him hands. I don't know if him a watch the game or him a take notes, him just a penetrate. You get what I say? I wanna know, and that's why I came up with a nonchalant type of attitude. You see me as a coach, and sometimes you give the instructions, and when you see how it a play on the sideline, sometimes you have to take up the controller, which is going on the sideline, and start talk the game. Make them know say, yo, I know that me say, and I know this me I see. You see me I say? So me no see that type of thing from Grimo, where that is concerned. Um In-game management, we touched upon that already. Me no think that is good. Is it that it is a set style to have a substitution? For me, substitution is to make impact in the game, is to change the game. I I think substitution should be made to change the game. You get what me I say? Um, Not just make a substitution because it is a part of the game. So if me see my right back now play well and the pipe burst, seeing me, I go get the tangent. And if me forget the coupling, me I go get the coupling and the axle so me can cut it or whatever tool they use and put it together. And that is my substitution. I don't see that. Seeing decisions are questionable. And sometimes you get the explanation, you wonder because um when you look at it, for me, Javian Brown, from what I understand, had a knock. Probably that's why they never pick him. Seeing the player that replaced him or was picked over him in Dexter. Dexter get a knock. You go right back to Javian Brown. But you're carrying a new youth. Seeing when him great. And you played him and him never play well. He never play bad. Why you bringing the man where you never pick? Or was he a part of your plan from long time? But you ask him if him can come, whatever, whatever. So that why you pick the new youth, you don't trust him? Or you just want to give him a cap? Me no know. These are the questions that me I ask, These are the things that I want to be answered. You see me I say? The in-game management, the decision making, the reasons behind it. Right now, me really want to hear Grimo talk. He's a jovial personality. Him crack a few jokes in at the press conference. I guess if it ease off the pressure. But Jamaica football pressure, pressure situation. But he said that he wanted to come because he believes it's a project. Is it a project for him or is it a project for football Jamaica? And these are some of the questions that I have been asking. Seeing, I want to know already, me now go call for a coach Ed because and a my style that. Seeing, Not even Tenagan, uh, what you call him, Solskjaer needed the ask one. Them are my club team coach. So that a one, principle me whole. Seeing? But trust me, is it that the senior players have a lot of influence when it comes on to team selection? That is a question that I have to ask. In the dressing room halftime, who talk? Is it the coach or is it the senior players? Hmm? Is it the coach or the senior players? Seeing? And next thing, is it Grimo that speaks or is it Meran Garden? Seeing? Is it Grimo that picks or is it Meran Gordon? Because you pick Cephas and Cephas get one run, quarter run. So why you pick him? Is it that he did not impress Grimo, even based off the recommendation of Meran Gordon? So people, you see how much questions when me have ask that no one find out what really are going on. And would I really love to ever sit down with Grimo right now. Yeah, man, would I really want to talk to Grimo and the fans them could have, be a part of it to really find out what really I got to him head. Seeing he always talk about the coaching job here is a pressure position and because questions have been asked in press conference, are you pressured? Of course, I'm gonna feel pressured because you have to deal with the JFF. But separate and apart from the JFF, is Coach Hallgrimsson the answer for attacking prowess? Me hear say John Wall are the attacking coach, but it has been a year since Coach Hallgrimsson has been here, and I've heard talks about solidify defense, solidify defense. That not solidify yet because obviously the pipe break on the right side. And if the pipe break on the right side, you have to fix it because your water bill are gonna go up. Seeing? These are the questions we want to answer, Jairus. You see me I say? So me I go hear what now say no people because my ratings right now, after 1 year, and if you look at his record, yes, before me get into the comment section, if you look at his record, his record is not bad competitively, Seeing? It is not bad competitively. So in a sense, you can say, do we see a pattern of play from this team? Also, I think with Grimo being here, he has attracted some top name players that like a Demarai Gray, where we never expect would have come for Jamaica. You get what I say? So those are positives. But right now, I think the footballing fans out there really, what I call it now, they are not happy. They are impatient because of what we would have been used to and what would have encountered throughout the years. And as them say, the people them is just tired of it. You get what I say? So what I believe is that it is not all gloom from my standpoint yet, But them question ya. And it is a big issue for me, you know. Yes, when the players them talk about your tactics, that is something to look into, you know. Because you can't then the team for 1 year, even though you might not have everybody at one time, and your defensive pattern cannot be sorted out yet. People are gonna say we need to be patient, we need for this, we need for that. People, if phone line open still, you know. If you want calling, you call in and share. So me are going at the yeah man. Devon Porter, me see in a place. So as me I say, Coach Devon Porter, me go do my investigation and we find out say Grimo signed the contract from September. But because of the Adidas deal, well, that and me I add that to it. Because of the Adidas deal, me think that them wait until January for unveil everything. So that's why I 1 year him in at the job, Coach Devon. Seeing? So people wanna tell me what grade and some things that you believe Coach Hallgrimsson can adjust going forward, if you believe that he should go forward with this team. Yeah, let me check out some comment. Where was I in the comment? All right, Doreen say yes, getting into fall season now. Wait, I is just joking. Rob Smith, big up. Up actually, a one time friend of your Mannings do puppet video coach. So it's that they're referring to. Okay. Jairus, big up yourself. At least you can criticize him. I don't understand that, Jairus. At least you can criticize him. I don't understand that. Look, I go for shades that throw in the comment section so for me. I'll go on. I forget my sunglasses. His record not that bad though. Could be worse still. True. Yeah, now that me make mention when you look on him record, it not bad. You get what I say competitively, you know. Oh, that why coach is not in the studio anymore. Strings don't reach for that. Mm, as the first time them trying an attacking setup, so I think it's okay. All right, Kevin. Rob Smith, Uncle Kite String could have reached for that. Yeah, I feel laugh, bro. 7 out of 10 Rich Poe same game. On a grade Rich Poe can be a working score. 6.5 is a score I can work with for starters. For me, well, after I go through the comment section, I got tell you know, um, my thing on his ratings. Let me drop the link and pin it. Um, let me pin the link here. People like up the stream, no man. Like the video. All right, so. Mm, So 6.5 to 6.5, according to Rich Poor. We need forward Ravel Morrison in the middle of the field who love the ball. Man of the man of God, Paul Hall is much better. All right, man of God, big up. Hold on, that sound familiar. What is that? Whitmore style. Hallgrimsson is a one-trick pony defensive long ball coach. The team will not play any better under him. Funny thing is, people beat Tapper for the same thing, but willing to give this coach a pass. Facts. It's a BM. Jaros, facts. Right away. Couple months ago, you were saying how he changed shape and all that with subs. Yeah, but things can change in our football, you know. The entire right side needs to change. Not good enough. Communication skills with the media, 7.5 out of 10. Fear. Coach, remember, Grimo said that he was comfortable with how the team playing, except for the two individual mistakes. And quite frankly, still, you know, coach, me can't tell you no. Coaches see things different from the fans, you know. Me I will give you one story. I will go on one story. Soon, I won't remember. Somebody can remind me of the story. So me have a story for give. See? Me I tell you no one story. All right, we soon for the cranky. We'll go through some of my comment because I don't want the people to rush. I want. I agree, coach. I don't like the lean on the bench and fold on thing. It gives a rumbar on a Sunday evening kind of vibes. Him not ready, coach. Remember, you hear it from somewhere in your chat. Yeah, man. May I see it? Me not hear it. May I see it? Grim is not it. Replace him now or face the consequences later. Jairus, we know why some people give this coach a pass. Why them give him a pass, BM? Coach, them say Gray get injured before the match. Yeah, me see him have something wrapped around him legs, you know. Him leg rather. BM, I mean, me a corner eye couple blogger right now. I have seen him make halftime subs a couple times. That is true. Yeah, me see him make in so that's why I said it no balance some of the decision, you know, Rob Smith. That's why I said some of the decision. Cause him take off people halftime. We see him make them tough decision there. Is he not seeking the game the same way you guys seen it? No, me not think so. Coaches look on different things. What me have a story for telling about that. He answered it, but it didn't make sense. We don't need no mad scientist right now. We need a man who has a plan and understand our players. Jairus, oh, you aren't sitting on the fence nor prepared to give HH time. No, sir, too soon for that. Jairus, me too. It's unfortunate people can't be fair based on affiliation. That it look like BM, look like you choose some shade, man. At night, no, we don't need no shade in a night. Talk straight, man. In BM, he said Gray is new to his system, but so was Palmer, and he started both games. We don't have time to give him 2026 is not far. Why a difference in opinion always have to lead to man's affiliation? Maybe he see it different. Asking the right questions, coach. Two words, human nature. Coach, stop the foolishness. You really think the coach is allowing Gordon, a lesser coach, to pick team? EBA coach in the world take recommendation from assistant. Why have them? No, me nah say him no take na of course him take recommendation from him assistant. That is a fact. Him say it. I'm just asking questions, Rob Smith. This is Jamaica football we are talking about in Rob Smith. So nobody go around the thing, about foolishness. Jamaica football is anything is possible. Oh, come me a hear a thing. I mean, me not ready to talk about it until me really investigate. You see me I say? You see me I say? BM call name. No, we don't want to shade drop because right now, no sun no out at night. Coach, we need you to go in the press conference and ask some auditing questions. Me not get to go press conference. That's a problem. So we are saying Tapan already, Paul Allen already, and Grimmon already. Yet the only constant. constant is the players. Maybe the problem resides with the constant and not the coaches. No man, but we change so my personal them, man. Every human have bias, even you see it your way. All managers are see panel are full up in a panel are full up. All managers are under form of pressure. What is the result sheet showing after a year? Anyone win, lose or draw? Jason, draw up that win, lose or draw sheet there for it. Rob Street, what if they are using the whole, not the use the culture thing to trick him? I'm more a result person. Get the job done. See him with Tapa. We need Ravels. All right, I see him question them. Coach Devon, yeah, the last man forward, but you get the information on me say about Hallgrimsson having the reason why it's 1 year that he has been coaching the team.
I heard it, but you have to
Hold
be
on. He's not
realistic.
here. Hold on. I'll put on the.
You're not hearing me.
It's not your fault, man. Me never put on the headset. Go on.
Okay. Here's the thing, coach. You get a job today. You sign the contract. You go to the job for 1 day, and then you take a break and you went away
But take a break
because the
because of
job
what?
the job because it can be other reasons.
No, but him did still a work, man. He might never die Jamaica, but him still a work.
Yeah, but he was not working directly with the team. Yes,
Yeah,
he might be talking to players, yada yada
because
yada.
there was no football.
You
There was
understand?
no football being played.
Okay. Next question. Was he being paid at that time
That a woman
when he
never
was not
find out.
around? Okay.
That a woman never find out. But as
Because
I
if a
was,
man not getting paid, technically he's not on the job yet.
yeah,
But if he's on the job,
but if me sign my
if he,
contract, may I expect my pay, Devon.
whether you're visible or invisible, you understand? Contract has clauses in there, and you can. Um, we don't know. Okay, we don't know. So technically, he's only months in the gig. What the public and the fans need to be is patient. Just be patient. Because remember that reunion show that we had, and I said the Gold Cup, and even after the Gold Cup, it's a work in progress. This team is not gonna start clicking until sometime in 2024. Let's hope it start clicking before the qualifiers start. So all the pieces, because
No,
he's
but
still looking at pieces.
so which part of 2024 you at?
I'm looking at say summer 2024. Okay?
Summer?
Yes, 2024. So going into the qualifiers, if we qualify for the Copa America, we'll have more games under our belt, and the team will start gelling a little bit more because there's going to be players coming in, there's going to be players coming out, because we don't have that base yet to say we should be comfortable and this team should be unbeatable. It's a work in progress, and people need to understand that we are too impatient. We listen, the Jamaica football team is not a quick fix. It's not a quick fix because there's a lot of things to deal with Jamaica football national team. So we just have to be patient with the coach and his staff. I think they have competent and qualified people around the team. that can help them to get this team molded the right way to go into qualifiers. You know, it's not a rush. We, let me tell you something with Jamaica. We love to win, eh? We grow up on a competitiveness where we from basic school we are compete anything. If it's even jumping ropes, just
Mm-hmm.
running in the park, playing jacks, play dandy shandy. We love to compete and we compete to win. And it's embedded in us that we must win and always win. But sometimes it's not about the winning, it's about how the progression of the team or anything that you're doing is getting along. Just like let let's revert a little bit to track and field. The young sprinter, talented, one for the future. He runs in the world championship, did well, but people expect that he should have won. But it's not his time yet. So he is working along the way. And sooner or later he might be the person that is hard to beat. Same thing with the team. People's gonna come in and people's not gonna fit in. Okay? We don't know what's in the coach mind or the coach's mind, but let's give let's give it a chance. Let
But Coach Devon, has he impressed you, and what grade would you give him?
handling this team right now.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking at an 8, 7.5 to an 8. And I think I am impressed with the way he's handling the team and the way he go about doing things. He's a professional and he has
Uh-huh.
professional people around him. And he he has the experience. He's been there to the World Cup, which is the pinnacle for footballers. Everybody would like to play in a tournament like that. And but saying this and saying that, yes, Iceland might have a little bit more stability when it comes on to the organization than Jamaica. You understand what I'm saying? And that can play a part. We just need to allow the coach and his staff to do the job. The federation put him there to do the job. The fans need to be trust in him. And I am not gonna say he's gonna be the Almighty and the Savior, but let's see what transpire down the road in another year because I think this team is coming together. You can see it from the Gold Cup. You understand? Yes, there are hiccups, there are bumps in the road, but that's life. Life is like that. You know, you win some, you lose some. It's not gonna be a smooth ride. It won't
So
be. Go ahead.
so me soon ask Cranky and football religion for chime in on the matter. But
Okay.
my concern, Coach Devon, is
Hmm.
when the players that you're coaching um say that, and remember, I wouldn't think enough player enough fans influence the players. When the players who are professionals as well can say that this coach It's too defensive. It's too defensive. It's too defensive. Don't you believe that there is it that they don't buy into that defensive mindset, or they don't trust him to play nothing different than defensive?
Here is my thing. Every coach have a style.
Yeah, but
Um,
no, but hold on, Devon. We know that. No, no good so. But
no, no, but I have to
every
go there.
style, and every style players like. Remember, players always coach out a position because of how them play, you know. So you have to take that into consideration. Go ahead.
Well, here is the thing for me. I I build my team from the back. Okay, I got to solidify my defense first before I start on the midfield. Then you get into the attacking side of the game.
That is
Yes,
me too.
yes, yes. We might think that the coach is too defensive, but I don't think so
No,
because
but Devon, you know why it is see it seemed that way.
why?
He made the adjustment. He hear the plea, you know, and he made the adjustment. That's why the
Okay,
team looks so different.
okay. So
Against the in the run of playing these two games.
so you're saying now, you're saying, look at our front line. Look at our front line. Look at the people we have in our front line. And look at the people we have in defense. So you're saying that they think that the coach should go out on a limb and start attacking. And then when you start attacking,
Me nah,
you left a gaping hole. Hold on, no. You left a
but
gaping hole at the back.
no, but me
And then
answer you.
what's gonna happen next?
I know what gonna happen next. Me not tell us that the players them said that. But from he has been here close to a year, before now, before September, a defense me here.
Well, well, you have to have a good defense to stop the spillage.
But Coach Devon, me know that because when me I work for my team them, and as he said, the defense are the easiest thing for work on, Coach Devon. So you know if you lament
No, it's not.
setting up a well I know. What you mean no it's not?
No, it's not. It's the
But he
hardest
said that.
part to work on. It's the
No,
hardest part to
coach.
work on.
No, coach, it's not hard. It's not
Because
hard to set up a defense.
you got to get them coincide with each other.
The coach Devon, I put it to you that the defensive side of things in football is not as difficult to set up. The most difficult part of your attack for setup is the attack. How fluid you are up front, how you create the chances, how creative you are. That take time to work on. So that's why the players them must say a pure defensive thing we are work on. You know, take a long time for work on defense, man.
Really?
At the personnel them you in a defense. And at that it don't take a long time. Like the transition from midfield to attack. It don't take a long time. It don't
Well,
defense
you
are the easiest thing to set up in a football.
you have to have who to get the ball up there.
Of course. So that I first thing you
But
normally do, which is
but at the
right. You set
but
up your defense,
at
but
the
you
same,
cannot set up
hold on now.
defense only and make
And
notation
and
of what
and
is happening up
and
front, and that
and
the players them
here,
have problem with.
hold on now. And here is the problem. When we get into attack and the attack breaks down, what happened in our defending?
But Coach Devon,
It becomes a gaping hole. That means here is what a lot of people don't understand, coach.
No, Coach
Where
Devon
does
at
hold
the
on?
mid, under the
Where
attacker.
does no, where does the defending start?
But
When
everybody
we
knows say your first line of defense I attack.
okay.
So
So
if you
so
attack no
now
set if
so
you
so
attack no set
now
right,
so
all the
now
defense are right.
so now you're speaking. So it means now that what he's trying to solidify is to get everybody on the same page to defend as a group and as a team, as a collective unit. And he's not seeing that. So he must have to work on that because he does not think the attacking part of the game is the problem when that time comes to implement that. Because look at the
But
personnel
Coach Devon,
there.
you just Coach Devon, you just attack where you think, I'm telling you what the coach said. May I tell you, I know, me nah make up no story, May I tell you what coach say? And that is what I believe too. Attack is harder to put together an attacking system than a defensive system. And
Well, here's the thing.
so you
You
go
can't
spend
work,
time and
you
work on a
can't work
defensive
on
system.
hold on, you can't work on two things one time. You have to solidify one first, then you work on the other one.
So you take 1 year for work on the defensive system. And if you don't work, you gotta take 1.5 years. And if you don't work, you gotta take 2 years just at the defense,
Okay,
Coach Devon.
put it this way. Count the games. Count the games. How many games? How many games? How many time with the team? And you tell me if that is justified for us to have a fluid team all around.
Listen, I'm not expecting the team to be playing like Barcelona or Manchester City. Don't get me wrong. But I'm telling you what the coach said. The coach said the defense are the easiest part to set up in a team. I just the attack him have problem with.
Yes,
You have to
yes.
constantly
So he's trying to get that. He's trying to get it right, and then he
but
moves on
and
to
that
the
is
front.
contrary to what happened. The players they must say you spend too much time on the defense.
That
If it easy
mean
to set up, why you
that
spend so much time?
that mean the players are not adapting to what he wants. So
But
he must spend
and
more time.
so why switch it when the players say it? Hmm?
Why switch what?
Why formulate an attacking setup when the players them say it? If you believe say it no reach nowhere. Do you think me I go switch it because a player say something?
What? Yeah, but what if he wants to send a message
What message?
to
No, sir.
say, yeah,
Well,
you want me to work on the attack? Now here's the attack.
mm-mm.
Now when we lose possession of the ball, how do we drop to defend?
But that
Do we
can
defend as a
regurg
group or we
that
defend
can
as individuals?
but that can regurgitate while you work on the attack too. So you set up the whole structure of the defense where you try get, and as you go through, you ensure say you constantly repeat, you constantly regurgitate. Say it's a repetitive thing, See, you're not gonna
Well,
stop the defense when you do attack. You're not gonna
well,
stop the
well,
defense, Coach
well. He
Devon.
might,
So,
well, he might need an attacking coach. He might
oh
need
your
an
son,
attacking coach in the system
Devon, oh your son, it sound
alongside
like say
him.
you just work on that defense and don't do nothing else, and it can't. I know so you work.
That
That's
means
so your son,
he probably need an attacking coach again while he works on the defensive side and then put it together and then we get a unit. But the JFF have to put up the money for that.
But John Wall is an attacking coach according to me here. Roger Daly me argue. So no, I can't argue. We argue, yes. The conversation we have is argument we have. But it's not a bitter argument as you probably think.
Oh no. This is
So people them a move to touch him, man. So Coach Devon, it sound
Mm-hmm.
to me like you say, seeing
Yeah.
if you just a work on the defense, work on the defense. Remember, say you can't, and you say you can't work on two something one time. Me not agree with that. You can't work on more than one thing in a
Yeah, but
different session.
one man can work on two something one time. If me I work
But
on
that's
something no, I can't left it and go work on something else. That's what I'm
no,
saying.
but Coach Devon, if him have him assistant them, who will make the correction when them a do the attack?
Yeah, but all right. Here's the
Who will
thing:
make the correction when them a do the
we are
defense?
not at the training to see. You understand? Um, whosoever is at the training and saying all of this,
Mm.
do they understand when the attacking side of the game is working and the defensive side, and they just see the team training and say it's only defensive working on?
No, I know nobody see it, Coach Devon. Me I tell us say players they say it, that they voice their opinion. That me also come
So
again. Nah,
so
you
so
know that
Menzi and Devon, on a
So
type
is
of
it
go
a
around,
here?
on a type of
Hold
go around
on.
a circle.
Is it a
Devon
here?
and Menzi, Devon and
Yeah,
Menzi, on a type of go around, and I'm going around circling, and the circle I get bigger and bigger and bigger every minute.
I want to get big.
Yeah, but it's not going away. It's a circle. You're not
because
making any progress.
Coach Devon believes that people are see it and a say it and I fans them. And me I
Here,
tell him cranky. Say
here's
players them
Cranky.
say it.
Cranky, here's the thing. And I'm going to play to the Jamaican fans. Please be patient. You know, be patient.
You have to tell the ball of them that to coach.
I'm a jump in. Okay, I'm not gonna be in here for long. I'm a jump in. Patients are in hospital, and that's what they need to do to get fixed. They're in hospital. They're not on a football team. I don't know what fan group in any jurisdiction in any country is patient. There's no such thing.
None.
Okay,
People
okay.
people
Let me.
want immediate results.
All right.
And what
But
Devon, 1 second, Devon, you've been talking for a long time, Devon. Give me a second. A long time, by the way. You and coach have been talking for since me and football originally been on here for at least 25 minutes. The two of you have had the conversation going around in a circle. So I'm gonna put my 2 cents in, I'm gonna jump off. I think you guys are focused on the wrong thing too. Because the coach is part of the challenge and part of the issue. What people want to see, Devon and Lindsay, is progress. They want clear indication of progress, and the progress manifests itself in multiple ways.
Mm-hmm.
One is outcome, but just as important is how you play in the performances. And if they're not seeing that progress, they're going to get perturbed and concerned and disenchanted. And that's what's happening. And the coach, and even though Devon said be patient, the coach hasn't shown anything to date, Devon, which shows that he's a differentiator. And he's better than Paul Hall and better than the previous coaches, including Tapa. He hasn't shown that. And by the way, he's had better players on a net basis, as far as I'm concerned, and more consistent attendance by those players. Now, what he has done really well and is doing better off that we haven't had before is the recruiting. Recruiting is getting better, and the prospect for more recruit is evident. And now people want to play because they're figuring out there's more organization and more cohesiveness in terms of how things are running. But I'll say this, which is important about the coach. The coach is only as good in a lot of instances as the administration he's engaging with and the quality of the players that are on the field. And in the administration, we know what that entails. We know how the JFF operate. We don't have to go into their history and how they operate or don't operate. And with the players, even though they have improved, we have identified a number of deficiencies. I'm not sure if you guys have realized this. I'm gonna bring up something which is deemed to be something we shouldn't go down that road again, but I'm gonna bring it up. So when people say, if you look at the team as constituted that started the last game, I think we probably had maybe 4 locally developed players and maybe 7 non-locally developed. Am I right in assessment? Or maybe 5 and 6 and 5, I think it was. Nicholson, Bailey, Brown, Blake, and Lowe. if you look at the performances since the Gold Cup to now, and you want to take players out of the team, it's going to be local developed players. And I go back, I say that by saying this, which is the problem we have in Jamaica, even with the people who are getting a lot of laudatory comments about who they prove overseas, is the coaching. But we can't fix that for the World Cup because that's too late. So the coach can only be as good now as the quality of the players he brings into the team. Because international football is about the quality of the players. It has less to do with coaching and positioning and style of play and system of play. People want to let you to believe because you don't have time to implement your ideas and your perspective and your system of play. Now, as Minzy is saying, the whole concept of, well, the coach is focused on the defensive aspects of the game versus offensive. Does it really matter at this point? Because frankly, I don't think we have a problem creating chances in a number of instances, like the Haiti game.
Thank you.
We have a problem creating quality chances where you put people on goal, but we have a problem putting away chances, and we also have a problem defending mainly on the right side of the defense. And we all know from day one, we don't have the quality in the midfield that we need to have. So we seem to have a multitude of problems. The only place we don't have problem is probably in the goalkeeping area. And we're bringing some quality in terms of Gray, who has hit the ground running and has shown up some of our players. So if you look at all aspects that informs a quality football team, the administration, the coach, and the players, we still have problems and challenges. You can't fix it holistically. You got to fix it tactically. And the tactic is going to be, you got to replace certain players. The coach got to change certain things because right now he hasn't really impressed me, to be frank. And I'll tell you this, Devon. His game management reminds me of Arteta. It's atrocious. His game management is poor. If you have a game where you're losing 2-0, some players are just not at the races. You come up from the halftime, you make no changes, that cannot be acceptable, Devon. That cannot be acceptable in anybody's eyes. In the least informed play. In the least informed fans. Go ahead.
Okay.
Cranky,
let me ask a question.
Hold on there, Devon. Hold on now. Cranky, is it in-game management in all games or in this game? Because I can recall that he has had instances where he made changes at halftime. So I want to know for clarity.
Yeah, so coach, some games you don't need to make any changes given how the game is running, right? So it won't be apparent. You may be down 1-0, you're playing well, the game is tight. You don't want to upset the apple cart. You don't want to upset what's happening. So you leave things to flow as they're doing, right? Some games become very evident and very pronounced when you don't make active changes. I've seen Conte make changes in the 30-something minute because some players weren't playing. I've seen Arteta pull off Tavares in the 30-something minutes against Liverpool because he was not. He made 4 bad passes in 4 minutes. He pulled them out the team. Mm-hmm. We had players who were failing miserably on the right side. Almost the entire right side, apart from Bobby Reed in the game. He made no change at halftime. How can that make any sense to anybody who coach football? Not one change. You have 3 windows to make changes. You don't make one. Come with the same team.
And that me did ask too, when I started out the show, I asked the question, is it that the window? Because when we asked him the question about the changes the last time, his response to it was that they got certain amount of windows to make the change. And if those windows are not available, you miss a window, you can't make the change again. But I see where the substitutes were on the sideline standing, and the ball went out 2 times, and the change wasn't enforced. So I'm wondering what is happening with that aspect of it.
That's a perfect example, coach, where he delayed the change because he may not have been comfortable making the changes, even though he put the 3 players up came up, right? I think it was Whisper, DJ, and somebody else.
Yeah.
And he didn't make the change. The ball cycled about twice before, when it bounced twice, but the change occurred. And that was in the 60-something minute, late 60s, early 70s. So it is frustrating sometimes watching certain managers do certain things. And people say, well, you're just a fan. You don't have perceptiveness. You don't understand the game. You're not the coach. You didn't go to get your A license. But fans watch football like they go to church or they go to work. They live and breathe it. At some point, you become knowledgeable about the game.
Of course.
And here's the thing that, Devon, that people don't realize. Because a lot of Jamaican fans now watch the highest. When you see excellence, Devon, And you know what excellence look like? In England, they call it, you know what good looks like? It's hard to go back, Devon. And it's hard not to see when it's not manifested itself, Devon. Very difficult. When you know what excellence look like, it's hard to go back. And it's hard not to be critical when you don't see things that are progress in that direction. So it's very frustrating to sometimes watch these games, watch what's transpiring, and say to yourself, what is the coach? Is he just watching the game like a fan? Or is he actually managing the game? Here's another example, Devon, which really got me perturbed watching that game. When you have set pieces, Devon, and it's deep in someone's half, your thing you should tell your players is this: look, we may lose the ball and come under attack. So we have to be balanced when we have the set pieces. I have to have people in the right position outside the box to make sure if we don't have the ball, because we're facing the opposite direction, they can recover. We're down 2-1, Devon. We have a set piece. They get a breakaway. They should have scored that breakaway. So and that shouldn't happen in the game. They can get breakaway, yeah, but you should at least have enough men back to defend. And when I hear this nonsense about when you listen to people and they're talking nonsense about, well, you know, the coach does X, Y, Z. The coach is very defensive. We don't have enough offensive. I just get very frustrated because I think we have the quality of the players to destroy Haiti in that game. Oh, here's what's bothering me. He thought we played well. He thought we played. What he said? He thought we played well.
Mm-hmm.
We did play better than Haiti.
Yeah.
But we weren't as effective as Haiti. There's a big difference, you know. That's how people deem ball. Because deem ball in today's football is I get more chances, I have more possession of the ball, and that's fine. But Haiti has as much chance as we did.
It's not
they achieved their objective. Huh?
I'm saying it's not the all and be all. You have to be effective in what you do.
Yeah, so I know football really has been here while I'm getting to have a go also. But my final point is this, Devon, which is it's fine, Devon, themselves to be patient. I'm not saying we should fire the coach because we don't have any money if we fire him because he has a contract and he's paying about $500,000 a year. That's not going to work. We don't have money to throw away. We haven't paid the players since 2019, is my understanding. Players ain't getting paid, so that means we don't have the money, or the money's not flowing down the tree as it should. So we got to think about the coach has to think about this. It's his job. It's his reputation. Do the right thing against all odds. Don't let people in administration influence what you do. Don't let players with certain pedigree and certain perspective and certain where they reside in determine what you do. Make your own decision based on what is right and what's going to be more effective. Certain players do not deserve their spot in the team. And those who give me a hard time about criticizing certain players, it become very obvious now. And I'm happy about this because I want other players to be successful, but they're not playing well enough. So if that's the case, they have to be replaced. Football religion, it's your time. You'll be waiting for a long time.
Yes, coach. Good evening, guys.
Yeah,
For me, coach, I was listening to Devon, and I heard him talking about progress, and him giving his rating for Hallgrimsson so far. And I think, as Jamaican fans, I think probably some of us failed to do our research on the coach before. I'm sure some persons have done done research to a certain extent. However, coach, we haven't qualified for the World Cup since 1998, right? I wasn't even born at that time. I was born in 2000. So I'm yet to see Jamaica go to the World Cup. However, he, went on to bring Iceland to the World Cup, right? And, here we have Jamaica where for years, at one point we had Tapa, then we moved on, then we brought back Tapa, right? So in some sense, in general, we don't have a philosophy of what we want to do moving forward, whether it's at the grassroots program in terms of how we want to play, and then these players transition to the national team, and that would be our local players, right? And I think with Hallgrimsson, the Gold Cup, it wasn't bad, But for me, as Devon said, he thinks the team will probably gel sometime next year in the summer. And I think when the World Cup qualifiers come around, that's where I think I'll see major progress with this national team. However, not to say that there are not deficiencies in the team right now, especially with the coach in terms of substitutions. And as Cranky pointed out, halftime, there are certain times players play bad to the extent where they have to be taken off, But then you have managers who they're stubborn to the point where there's always this level of expectancy from senior players that they fail to make changes early, and they wait probably a little bit too late. And against Haiti, I think that was one of the main issues, where Leon Bailey, Damian Lowe, and probably Javian Brown to a certain extent should have been brought in off. And for me, Damian Lowe should have been one of those players because those were two crucial mistakes in the first half, So he's stubborn in that sense, pertaining to the tactics and you guys talking about the defensive side and the attacking side. I think going forward, we do create chances, but I don't think we create enough clear-cut chances. And I think that's down to the system that we deploy at times, and the midfield as well. I don't think we have enough quality in the midfield to get the attacking three in good positions to get on the end of good chances. I think most of the chances Jamaica create at times are probably percentage chances, and that's subjective to how people want to look at those chances. But for me, they're percentage chances. They're not clear-cut chances where I said, you know what, yeah, we should have finished those. Going back to the Gold Cup against USA, I mean, we had good quality chances in that game and we should have killed that game, And I think we played the next game where we should have killed that game as well. Against Mexico, when, they beat us 3-0, we conceded early. And I think that was a game where we failed to impose ourselves. We do have the quality, but it's like it knocked the win out of us, coach. That Mexico game, conceding that early kind of knocked the win out of us. And I've seen games like that where it's not that you don't have the quality. You do have the quality, but sometimes you concede so early is like it's hard to get back in the game, And against Haiti, I think it showed progress where I, said that I think that once we get back a goal, preferably before the first half did finish, would have got back into the game, And it was a game where we showed good fight, good spirit, and we got back into the game. So I think to a certain extent, there is progress being made. It's going to take time though, I don't think we can expect instant results in terms of performances. There will be hit and misses, but as I said, I feel when the World Cup qualification comes around, that's where we'll see a better Jamaica.
Well, let me ask you this football religion. In terms, you made mention of performances, right? We're not going to see performances. Are you talking about the team itself, or are you talking about individual players? Because for me, if players are playing their role as individuals, wouldn't you see the team effort being a little bit different than what we see sometimes?
Meaning if individual players are playing better?
That is performance.
I mean, it's a good question. And, I think about Leon Bailey and some of the other like star players that we have a high expectancy from. I mean, definitely if Leon Bailey was playing to the level that we know that he should be playing at, then would be seeing a better Jamaica. But at the end of the day, without Leon Bailey, will we be playing good as a unit? So
we don't know yet. We don't know, because he has never been dropped, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question, coach. It's something for me to think about.
Yeah, but you see something about a coach, and a lot of us watch the beautiful game, EPL and all of these L's and E's. And Coach Devon can attest to this. You see, sometimes coaches are very stubborn.
Yeah, they are.
See, you will have a player that people might see make 2 mistakes, 3 mistakes, but the coach see him as being important piece to the team's progression. Somebody on the outside will say, boy, I don't know why the coach so patient with this player. Why the coach still have this player on the field? There's something different about a coach, or them look on the players and how them deem why the player. Boy, I don't know. I can't explain it to you.
No, I know,
because,
coach.
I have a story.
As a coach, you do your homework.
Devon, hold on there. I have a story. Seeing? I tell the people them, so I have to tell them at some point in the stream. And we reach it now, I believe. 2019, we work with a team. Seeing Coach Devon and everybody else will listen. You see the youth will play right back. He's not one of the most technical players. People then will support the team, I say, yo, he not good. Boy, coach, me don't know where you see now this man, you know. Someone that can't even run straight. But guess what? You see ABC players. You see those control and pass the ball. You see those turn the ball to the line and clear the ball. Simple ball game. The youth give that in the game. You see when you come on to marking players and you give him that instruction there, it come like Shati Malcolm. So sometimes the onlookers might see something different in the player than what the coach see. And it might give a, what do I call it now, a sort of pushback and a tug of war from coach to fans, But there's something about what the player might do on the training ground where you now go understand and what the player brings to the team. Sometimes a psychology alone too, you know. But if fans then probably now go understand it from a coaching standpoint. That's why I say probably Coach Devon would understand the point of view me I bring
fully
in this
understand.
statement.
Fully understand.
Sometimes the decision with the coach they make, you know, it seems Cranky can attest to that too.
So that's why I said him keep on and Billy coach or Damon.
It could be.
But coach, it's not like it's
and
a
I'm not
case
saying
where
that I'm not saying that is what happened in Leon Bailey, Damian Loa, Javian Brown situation, you know.
Okay.
But those are opening the eyes to a different aspect of how a coach would operate sometimes. That might seem stupid to you. I'm an idiot coach.
So, coach, let me just say something about that. That normally works when you don't have options. When you have options, it's a different story.
No, Cranky, me stop it there.
I'm telling you, if you have better options, when
Cranky.
you have no, coach. When you have better options, a different story. I'm telling you.
But I'm telling you something when happen. You have players were better than the player when
you're talking about a younger player. You're probably talking about a younger player who has potential. These are finished articles.
You might have better technical player. You might have better technical player, but that doesn't mean he is the best player to play that position at that point in time. Because I always tell my players, football is played in its simplest form. And if you complicate the game, you're going to put yourself in a problem.
Cranky.
Coach.
Cranky, you are big up Arteta now. And you in the past are beat
Arteta still. We're talking about big up coach.
To why? Well, I know.
Game management is awful.
Him stick to a player.
No. I'm beating him because his game management, not about Harvest alone. His game management is substitution, is decision making, is one-dimensional way of sticking to his style of play. It's awful.
Okay, Cranky. Okay, let me ask a question.
Hold on, Coach Devon did it?
I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. I'm on the road. So here's the thing. As a coach, when do you make your substitutions?
It depends, Devon. There's different scenarios to make substitution. A whole lot of different scenarios.
There is. So, for me, when I'm coaching my team, I don't make substitution because everybody have hand, leg, and feet. Injuries and tactical, not because I have a loaded bench. That's how I make my substitution. I analyze the game, and I look at the player, and I look at what's going on, and I look at my bench and see who will give me what I'm asking for in that instant. And if I don't have that person, why am I gonna put in a fresh leg who gonna make it worse?
So Devon, I have a question for you, Devon. Let's use real life scenarios. The game that we played on Tuesday, the right side was beyond atrocious. It was awful. Right?
Me I
When
change
he
them. Me I make
substitute,
that
when
substitution
All
there.
right. Here's
when
the
he
thing.
wait, 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 one second, one
I'm
second, one
gonna
second.
make. I'm gonna
Wait,
make
wait,
that
wait, wait,
one
wait.
fly over my head. Here's the thing. I'm gonna make that
But
one
Devin, I
fly
gotta
over
make
my
my
head.
point. Devin, I gotta make my
You know.
point. I gotta make
Yeah.
my
All
point.
right. Okay. Make your point.
So when he substituted Low, the time he did, in anybody's mind, was that the right time to substitute him?
I don't know.
What difference
I
would it
don't
make
know.
to substitute him in the 70-something minute versus early in the game when he was making all those mistakes and he was still making mistakes throughout the game? How many mistakes you need to see? 20 mistakes before you decide that, you know what? He's really off it tonight. I need to change him. How does that make sense to anybody? When Bailey was turning the ball over on every single play. You know, coach, you know something? If we played with 10 men in that game, we would have been better off. He was that bad to me.
Yeah, Muda make the change earlier. Because see, sometimes cranky, you make the change, and take off the player. That no means say the player now have no lot and part for do with the team again. Him just have a bad game. Remove him early.
I don't understand,
pertaining to the
coach.
subs,
And
coach.
that's why the fans
Gentlemen.
get coach. That's why the
Gentlemen.
fans
I
get
gotta.
excited and get upset because they're watching the game, especially when you're at the game. They're seeing the mistakes over. I'm telling you, I went to Orlando and watched it play up close and personal, and I walked away saying, if he doesn't change his game, he's gonna struggle as a footballer. When he plays for Jamaica, don't know he plays club team. The player tries to do everything in one play for the
Who?
entire game. Happens over and over and over and over. He doesn't get called up by most Jamaican public because he's the prized possession. And at some point now, they're starting to get frustrated. The crying is becoming louder and louder and louder. You know why? Because the performances are so bad.
Yeah.
It shouldn't get to
Thank
this
you.
point. The player should have changed how he plays to make sure he's successful on the field. Everybody wants the players to succeed. But if the player is so poor, you have to call it out. And until that resonates with the player, you know what happens? He got called at the press conference. He's changed his game against Trinidad in the Gold Cup. He started passing the ball more, even overpassing. And he was a better player in one game. He revert back to who he is. And it's hard to change who you are in a short duration of time. It's a learned behavior that has to be unlearned. And it takes a while. And unless you get reminded over and over, and when it's happening in the practical environment, you change it, it ain't going to happen. So my
Cranky.
suggestion for the player is, and he's manifesting himself on his club game, he needs to change his game. He got football ability. Nobody's questioning that. It's not manifesting himself on the field, Devin. Sorry, Devin. Go ahead.
All right. No, I gotta go, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna say one thing before I go.
Then football,
But when
football
you,
really
yeah,
can't take up.
when you came on and you started, you you said one thing, that the recruitment is getting better, and that you'll give to him. And here is the thing that I'm gonna say. Since you say that, I think we should trust the process. Trust the process. And that's my final word, and I'm out right now.
Okay.
I'll be in the shadow listening.
All right, coach.
All right, talk to you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Big up yourself, Devon.
Yeah,
Football
man.
religion. Go ahead.
Yes, coach. For me personally, I'm always like pro sub in terms of when players are playing bad and they're just unplayable. And Devon made a point about which I disagree with. He said that even if he has a loaded bench, he wouldn't just make a sub because they have hands and legs. And for me, it's like, there are certain players playing in a game, coach, where yes, the coach is looking at them from a different point of view compared to the fans, and he sees a different expectancy from them, and he's seen a different outlook compared to us. But coach Cranky stated that football fans watch football as if they're going to church or as if it's their job, and a lot of times, coach, there are moments in games where certain players, whatever the coach is seeing, he might be blinded by trust, by love, or whatever it is between him and this player. And there must be a player on the bench that can offer the simple stuff, but that will be more effective in games, coach. Example, you have Anthony at United. Yeah, we're not blessed with the wingers, but it's like you tell me sometimes you can bring on a Palestri. Yeah, he might not have the abilities, that's the finished article, but his final passes in the final third might be better, that would be more effective, even if it's the first two passes that will end up probably lead to a goal or assist. You get what I'm saying, coach? So
Yeah,
for
but
me,
remember, for me, me would have changed. I would have changed Damian Lowe.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm always pro sub, so whatever the coach might have between this player or have with this player in terms of he probably have more trust than players on the bench. I'm always for the fact that, you know what, if a player's playing bad to that extent, you have to bring them off. But then again, coach, subs are always hindsight, because so they take off low and bring in somebody else and we end up lose the game. There's some people that said, I mean, why you take off low, even though he was playing that bad, because the next man probably come on and the worst, So it's always hindsight in some sense.
Yeah. So Cranky, what degree do you give the coach?
A 4.
4 overall, 1 year 4.
Yeah, 1 year 4. I haven't seen the progress I expected. Look, you know what? I'm gonna change that to a 5 because I like the recruiting. I think the recruiting is getting better based on what has transpired. Because you need quality players. People don't realize that, coach. You're only as good sometimes as the players you have in the team. People give Pep a lot of credit, but Pep get to buy the best players. The best players at Barca, best player at Bayern, and he comes to the Premier League and take over Man City team that won the Premier League twice before he got there. So even the best coaches need the best players to dominate.
Mm-hmm.
And the coach is doing a good job of recruiting. So I'll give him a 5. But I'll say this in terms of his game management and what I don't know about the training, what is focused on defensive versus offensive. I have not walked away and said, you know what? He can be a differentiator in managing a game. He can be a differentiator the way he set up his team in terms of getting a positive outcome. I haven't seen it. And maybe I don't understand the game enough because some people want to tell you that you didn't play the game at a certain level, so you don't really know the game, and I smile. Because sometimes the people who play at the high level don't really understand the game. They're only good at it. They learn how to play it, but they don't really study enough to really decipher it, understand it. But I don't think he has done... I told somebody the other day, I was very frustrated watching the game. I'm like, why? I was shocked at halftime when we came out and there was no changes. Literally shocked. And said to myself, I won't tell you what I said to myself, but it wasn't pleasant, actually. I just wasn't happy with the
What
decision.
is progress for you? What was your expectancy?
So my progress would have been, the first progress I talked about is recruiting. We need better players. So he's doing really good in recruiting. And we can only get better. Because what you're seeing actually is what we haven't seen historically, which is, for the most part, when called, most of the players are showing up. I know Antonio didn't show up the last window, and Pinnock had some family matters the previous window. But for the most part, they're showing up. Which before, as we know, people come and they go, right? They sometimes get called and they come up with some excuse. My tour doesn't work. I booked my holidays already. My sister, I had to go shopping with her. All sorts of excuses to not turn up. And then people start challenging, questioning their commitment. We're not seeing that as much. So I think that's a respect to the coach more than anything else. And maybe the professionalism is instilling in the team about how they should operate. And he treats them like grown up, as we know, which sometimes causes problems. I also want to see, though, on the field of play, as we all talk about, because we all grew up, well, I know I grew up watching the Brazils of the world, and we aspire for a team to play that way. We now see Pep play a certain way, Arteta play a certain way, that we're doing a better job of progressing the ball from the defense through the middle to the offense, and not going the long ball, which we all the YouTubers criticize consistently, and other fans, about the inability to keep the ball on the ground, to possess the ball, progress the ball, and create good opportunities and good chances to score. Those don't happen. We get the ball and we kick it long, and it was effective against Haiti because Nicholson got in good position because he moved off the ball well, just didn't put the ball in the net. But for the most part, in the first game against Honduras, they came to our house and we say it was the field while they're playing well on the field, right? And we're talking about not the top 4 teams in CONCACAF or the top 5 teams. If you look at the top 5 teams, you have to include Panama in that list because we've never beaten Panama. So we're outside the top 5 teams and we're still not dominating. We're at home against Haiti and we were down 2-0. And they should have scored more goals because they got clear-cut chances to score more than we did. The goal that Blake saved should not have been even close. The guy should just walk around Blake and put the ball in the net. The ball that hit the bar could have scored also. So we could have easily lost to Haiti at home. We could have lost to Honduras at home. You remember the ball the guy got played through and he kicked it over the bar versus just tapping it over Wade's head? So it could have been a different story if it lost both games. Obviously we didn't. People can say we're lucky or we're just good, whatever it is. But what we want to see is dominating the teams below us and trying to progress against the team that are ahead of us And we're not seeing that progress. We're not seeing. I'm not going to talk about style of play and system of play in international football because I'm not a buyer because you don't have enough time to implement your methodology and what you want to do. But at a minimum, we should see some semblance of something progressing. So if you can't do it in 1 window, 2 window, 3 window, you're reminding the players about what you're trying to do. Every training session is the same thing. You work on the same things, along with trying to figure out what your opponent's weaknesses are. But you're seeing some kind of progress. It will happen in 1 window or 2 window. But I'm not seeing any progress. You're, as coach said at the beginning, you're playing players out of position. And it's showing. Our midfield is devoid of creativity. Go bring some. I know the whole Ravel thing irks people, but you know what? Don't be a hypocrite. Don't bring in Whisper. You're not going to bring in Ravel and say it's because he's not playing football. That's nonsense because Whisper's not playing any football. He has potential, will be a good player. He's not playing any football. So how are you going to say you're going to bring him instead of Ravel when you have no midfielders can break a defense down, can make a 40-yard pass on the our midfielders don't do anything except tap the ball beside the person beside him, you know. They don't make 40-yard pass on the dime. They don't make pass between the right back and the center back. They don't split the defender. They don't dip, turn, pivot, and go upfield and leave their man behind them. They do nothing which suggests they have any creativity in their locker. And we don't go out and source one who probably could play a half if he can't play the whole game. And you give me excuses about the nonsense about him not playing for a team when you have nothing in your team suggests that. You bring DJ, who when he comes in, look good, and he's on the bench for the entire time. And you have Lackey playing midfield, who runs all day, who covers a lot of space, who plays defensively, but have no offensive skill. So when you watch the games and you analyze the games, you walk away just scratching your head about, I don't know what I'm seeing. I don't understand what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And we are, 9 months to 12 months from qualification for qualifying starting? We don't have a lot of time. Now, if he tells me you're going to bring in the 7 or 8 players that want to come in who want to have Jamaican heritage, then I would just sit back and say, you know what? Talent alone will get me there regardless of how you coach. If you're bringing those 6 or 7 players who I would love to see come in the team, and we get them, I think it'd be hard for us not to make the World Cup, regardless of the coach. But until that happens, it's going to be a challenge.
All right, we have a caller online. Caller, go ahead.
Yes, good evening, Coach Minzy, and good evening, Stan Cranky, and for the other viewers.
Bless up.
Greetings. But Stan Cranky, everything that you just said, you hit the nails squarely on his head. To be honest with you, because I'm a sportsman, and it is something that I go to school.
Yeah, break up, caller. I think.
You hear me now, Minzy? You hear me better now?
Yeah, man, we are here now. Go on again.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man, it was disappointing, man, to watch those 2 games, man. It was horrible. And the pass and controlling poor. People standing behind people, not moving into space. You see, all the guys have to do, them have a talent. We know that they can, them have good skills and all of that. They're not playing simple football. Oh, I know football play, you get a ball, you pass, you move into space, and you keep on working the ball just as like that. Just move into space, pass, until you get into the opponent's third, right? And you try to create a goal. We're not doing nothing like that. And as Cranky said, we're playing players out of position. Because I saw Lottie here play right back, I saw him play centre back for Coventry, and the guy looked like a top-class defender. Right now, I would start Lottie Bodier and Pinnock in the back. Right now, those guys, 2 guys are 2 best defenders right now. Right? We have this guy named Ian Frey. I saw him play a couple of games into Miami. He can shoot from distance just like Rudolph Fastin. He can tackle, he can pass. Why that kid not get a look in? He's about 21, 22, thereabout. The guy have good football IQ. Right? To me,
I think he was
Lottie
called
Bodier,
some injury concern,
Okay. Well, to me, Lambert is aggressive in terms of him tackling and all of that. But we need somebody who can win the ball, who not going to create silly fouls, and who can pass the ball properly to the playmaker. Casey Palmer plays for Coventry, watching week in, week out. Very good midfielder. He can shoot from distance, he can make true passes. Very good. The first game, as I said, means I thought you would just gas pick him up. He's nervous and he just do all of the crap and it's the crowd and all. But if you notice him have a better game, not a hater game. Right? But that guy is a quality guy. No, as I stand cranky say now, with Ravel, a lot of the guys are playing clubs. What's the matter with Ravel? Ravel is the only one right now, him and Hutchinson, that me think can break down a defense and make splitting passes. They can lob the ball over the top. Them passes pinpoint. The guys, them are players who can get them shoulder and turn on a dime, as Stan Cranky say, and make effective passes. We don't have nobody else. Those two guys, we need them in the team to make the passes. These are the time when we need to stop playing players out of position, right? And next thing now, Kemar Roof. What is happening to Kemar Roof? Him and Mikel Antonio, those two guys are better strikers. I watched Kemar Roof play Celtics the other day, and it's 3rd of September. And trust me, the man looked like a top-class striker. Top class. The man control the ball and strike the ball. Textbook technique. I don't know why they're fighting this guy. He's 30, yes. But not because he's 30, we're going to throw him away. If you're making a team, you cannot carry teenagers for a World Cup, you know. You need some man right in the team who have experience. Because look at the guy who played for Colombia in the last World Cup. In the last World Cup, I think the one before that, he was 38, the defender, I forgot his name. And the man run up and down and thinks about the man at 20. You just really take care of your body on your play. We don't have an injury, but he come back now and he's looking good. So if Kemar Roof, you know, in the next window in the brethren, we have your bun tie and black road, you know, because something is going on wrong. Right? Yeah, man. Kemar Roof, I feel in the next window. Definitely. I say they can't carry risk, because I'm not fighting a youngster, they can give him a look in and building confidence. But at the same time, you have to have your best players. And we have to dig deep because he got really care on this, despite he's about 18, 19. He's starting for Charlton Athletic and playing good. So why not call that little kid and see how he play? Because he's a defensive midfielder. And our box to box, he play both positions. Right? So we need that youngster in the team too. But the next thing with Leon.
Go on, Walsh.
Yeah, man. Something even with something this guy in here now, Leon Bailey. Bailey need to play like how Gray play. Make the passes. If you don't see no pass, and you have to beat a one man, you make a pass, you move into space. If you want to block out the whole damn feel like a Sunday League ball, you play for fun fit. You're playing professional ball. Play a little like you have your ball, like you have sense, like you have your head on your body, brethren. The guy can play football. Like I'm seeing him play for Leverkusen, and the guy can play. I'm seeing him play for Genk. But I don't know what happened to him when he come to play for Jamaica. Because when he play for Aston Villa, he no play so. If you notice, the coach subbing me in the other day for Aston Villa, and he started to crap, and the coach take him ass back out of the game. That are the balls no Hallgrimsson have. A guy not doing for do, get the hell out of the game. You put somebody else in.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do. You want to play the football like say, well, the team is mine. Come on, man. And the manager is a little piece, I don't know if you say about him. We rate him enough and he can build players and whatever. But he need to talk to the kid. I make him know say, hey, you're doing crap. Pass the ball, move on. If you don't see no pass, you have to beat a one man and a two man, so be it. But when you pass the clear, you still take on man. So that what you ain't gonna lick up no man. I'm gonna say what the first man I beat a man, I won't go lick up in the empty backside. Then the next thing now, me say my party now out hell. Hey, you see them something. So the man come to the national window. A man come to play. He said for the international window, if you want to go party, film business that. But when a man call in a camp to play national games, no man is supposed to go to talk about them all party or them all look girl. None of them are thing enough to happen. You're in a camp, nobody no move. Anybody want to come out of camp, because them are adult, you know, just can't chain up a man and say, boy, you have to stay. If a man come out and he break curfew, you fine him and he get a 2 match or 3 match suspension. It's simple as that. Nobody no big on the football. The reason we can coach national team a man, despite my mother and their wife and them picnic, leave off of my camp, you ask to see back the national team. Me not care who you be, whether they be Leon Bailey, Gray, or the captain. You don't see back my team. The coach needs to have some bars and man garden too. Me don't know where the hell am I do. If you're a yard man, on the top of the coaching staff, it needs to bring him a game too. I talk with the man them. Means they want man them here to run some management on them thing, you know, because we don't play with people, you know. We don't care who you be, you know. That's why I mean coach football. Because I say, you know, football is a headache. That's why I mean stick to my track and field. Yeah, man, stay to my track and field. The fastest man reach the line. If a kid not doing what he do, he just out of my damn team. I don't care who you damn be. Because I always tell my athlete them, you're a student first, then an athlete. So if I broke any law on my track team, I brought the school rule to. I saw me deal with them. Draconian style and me get my results. This thing look like it's a pickup thing, a Sunday league business, means it. And we have the stress over it, you know. They now have no stress in them. Because they see the windows a little vacation time, it seems. And them not realize that the stadium not full, because when they might something go out in the public domain. Jamaica hard and tough, you know, despite them not living there right now. One day my mother tell me that she go juicy beef. And when she buy a patty and a cocoa bread and a orange juice, I'm almost $1,000 she spend. And I say, what you say? So when a man take about on 2,000 and 3,000 and buy a ticket to come watch games, a big sacrifice that. And at this you give by the people, they never come. They can't blame them for the stadium the other day. The stadium empty. But you were big and strong as what they say, with loud mouth. You come like a word for people in the stadium. You understand me? But the stadium empty, brother, Kawa. Jamaican love winners, people love winners. And if you do them a crappy party and do play crap on the field and you go on it and now play similar football, nobody's not going to come. As we stand cranky, so we don't have much time for the preparation of the World Cup. And me, so I don't know what they do in the training session, but when we usually coach football, means it with my youngsters. What we usually do is have a practical session and a theory session. I'm calling out the field. I have passive defenders and active defenders. So I show them how we build up from the back. We have like all 4 different players, how we build up from the back. When a man come out of position, who cover for him while we're building up. If we lose the ball and things break down, if a man have a step, who cover and we keep the shape coming back. So when a man knows, okay, when a man get the left back get the ball, for example, a man know who to run as a decoy, or a man who know to move in a position to get the ball, and you create space. A simple one too, or somebody in my team. Right? Then now, after that now, we're going to do some blackboard work and then see how we deal with it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Or somebody going to run the blackboard work, tell them what you want to do on the field. Then you go up on the field and do the practical. So
a whiteboard them I use now still in the wall. So you're going a blackboard.
Yeah. White boy music time to my little boy here, yeah. But you know, when we do them call what me feel so the man you know if we do. And the coach between the coach needs to give them man some we call it now. Some material in terms of how we are going to attack, how we are going to defend. If you play a particular position, what are your roles and duties? Then maybe they need it then.
Yes, to take
Because
them back to
you shouldn't have to do
back to school.
these things, because they're not professional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they're not do the simple things. My belly big like one when I play Sunday League ball. Me knock it, me move, me pick it up and knock it, because me run with the ball, me go blow up. And the man, they are big professional and make millions. And them behave like say, boy, they not play for bag juice. You disappointing, brother. I didn't invest was done in the stadium. And the bag play in the man. Because of that they want. So, the Mexican version of me.
Like them bug your phone right now, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, your phone line I get better now. We chat again.
Yeah, but them mash me down. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna cut me now keep no long, but I go and listening to you. Let's hope that this will reach out. We get some bars and stop me the man them do what they want to do. And the players them step up Bridget and do what they have to do, man. Because the country want to qualify for the World Cup. Because we can.
Yeah,
You understand? Yeah, man. So
right,
take good care, brother. We're listening to it. All right. Yeah.
Boy, that almost the whole of show. Wait. Real baller, big up yourself for that super chat. Good discussion in general.
So,
Javi
coach, I have a question
underscore
for you. Is that
low
super
and
chat
Leon was
$50?
yeah.
I thought I was to Jamaica now. I said, we give him back. I thought I was
No man, that's 50 US man. But guess what I think about it still enough. YouTube I get 45% of that, you know.
That's how them take, man.
Yeah man,
So the
YouTube
nice some people don't have a Zelle account set up. We just send your money, guys, Zelle account, and I go through YouTube. No, true. Yeah, if you have something different, man, you can't take 45% of your money. Them not doing that work. I'm not a privilege that forum fee enough to operate, you know, and I understand the forum needs money if you support it. They don't need 45% of your money. I would set up a different mechanism to receive payments.
Drop
But
some,
coach,
drop some. Yeah, go ahead, football.
with the previous call, I agree with a lot of his points. For me, like whenever I look at football, I always look at it from a deeper. I always look at it with a different lens, and sometimes I feel like with coaches, it's not necessarily a coach is not good enough, but sometimes players are not intelligent enough to grasp the concept of the game. As I said, a lot of players play the game, but they don't really understand it. And it brings me back to a level of, it might sound controversial, about how some players were in high school with education. Because if you can't grasp 2+2, then whenever the coach go on the field and tell you for the certain stuff, how you're gonna get that. You get what I'm saying? It might sound stupid to some people, but I feel like the smarter the players, then the better the football will be. And I feel like, not to diminish anyone in the national team, I just don't feel like some of them are the smartest out of everyone.
Okay. Boy, man, I tell us it thing set away, man. Really and truly. It set away.
Nah, look, we want to be optimistic. All is not lost, but we do want to see good progress. And we want the progress such where we can say, it's going to be sustainable progress. And we want to see the coach show us something which we can all sit back and say, yeah, that was creative. That was well done. That was really good. That gave us, we can see the benefit of it. We can see that it allows us to differentiate ourselves. But I'm not seeing that from the coach, and I'm not seeing that from the players. And it's disappointing, especially certain players. And at some point, here's what we don't know, coach. I want to make this point, which is very important. We do not know what's happening behind the scenes. And I have a feeling there's a lot happening behind the scenes. And why do I say that? So, for example, Javane Brown wasn't called initially. Then Javane Brown got called. And the player who got called ahead of him didn't start the game when he must have been the first choice person to get the call in the first place at right back, right? Something must have happened there. Because I would find it very difficult to think the person who got the subsequent call got a chance to play and was the starter versus that other person. I'm also thinking that there's always, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway, in third world countries, in fact, across the globe, but more so in third world countries, because we see that with Spain, something in England, there's always something happening, coach, which you can't explain, especially in third world countries, which is the politics behind the scenes, especially with administration and the constant conflict between coaches, administrators, those who are influencers. And I can bet, I don't have any inside information, I can bet there are things happening behind the scenes which we don't know about, which affects what transpires on the field. I'm sure there got to be some things where you wouldn't even believe that these things could occur that are happening, which causes some of the challenge that we're seeing. So, and we won't get that insight because some things need to stay in-house. We don't need to know sometimes, but they may be happening what's happening there. And we may draw conclusions which are not reflective of reality. So sometimes you got to be careful when you draw certain conclusions until you get facts and circumstances. But my hope going forward is, as I've said previously, and I'll close with this point, which is I hope we continue to recruit players, but not just recruit players, players who have certain skill sets and differentiating quality that when they come in, they're producing like we see Gray produce. Because to be frank, coach, for most of the games that Gray play, he's not always in the game. But
he
what
has
we're
made an
seeing,
impact.
but what we're seeing is output. What we're seeing is positive outcome, positive production, and that's what you want for your players. Even if they're not as involved as, and the ones who are involved a lot, coach, sometimes are not giving us anything. They're just involved. They're just, as they said in Jamaica a long time, they're just nuff. But you're not seeing anything positive or the productivity you want from them that manifests itself on the field and is very frustrating. So if we're going to bring in players and bring in new players, hopefully they have certain pedigree, but most importantly, when they join us, we can see them producing on the field. Doesn't make sense you have a name, you come for international duties, and we walk away scratching our head, which is, why aren't you producing on the field? Why isn't this occurring? Why do we have to have negativity in terms of being critical of you when you're supposed to be certain pedigree, and that pedigree is not showing up when you go in the battlefield? That can't be the case.
But what I understand with Javian still, me hear him have a knock, So probably that's why I'm never initially get a call. And with him coming now, with Lembikisa out, he comes. Him would have be the first choice to put in because he would understand all the things set up. But it's still strange to me why you never call him, even though it is said it is injured. And you know same have a knock, but you have a man on the bench and you don't use it. Not even 45.
You talking about Gray, the kid?
Mm-hmm.
Something happened there.
Yeah.
Something happened there. We don't know what it is, but something has to have happened, right?
And the same thing with something there. I wonder if because the assistant coach recommend them because something they play for a few minutes and both of them play for a few minutes, Gray and Cephas. Is it that the coach never like what him see with Cephas?
I would think it's two things. One is something happened with Gray, because Gray just came to the squad, right? So we don't know anything about what may have transpired. It could be a myriad of things. It could be that he probably had a knock. It could be his paperwork may not have been what it's supposed to. We have no idea, coach.
No,
right?
but
It could be anything.
Him play in the first
I know he
game.
played, but I'm just saying we don't know. We don't know. Secondly, for Cephas, I think Cephas came late, didn't he? Just like Nicholson. Nicholson came late and Cephas came late. I think Nicholson probably didn't start the first game, and Whisper probably started because Nicholson came the night before. And I'm also sure Cephas came in late also. So that may explain for both of them. But it doesn't explain why Cephas didn't play the second game. It may explain why he didn't start the first game because he came late. I know he was coming from Turkey. It doesn't explain, given some of the performance that we saw, even some of the substitution, why he wasn't given an opportunity to get more time in the second game. Now people may say, well, you know what? We were down, we came back and tied the game. But what I always say to people is this. What you're then suggesting that the change should have been made is that those people who came on wouldn't have made a difference. And done the same thing that those were on the field. So one can't say because a change was made that wasn't made that you wouldn't have had the same outcome. Because I'm sure Cephas could have contributed, similar to any of the defenders, frankly, given how the defense was playing. Because we gave up 2 goals against a average Haiti team, and we should have given up 2 more. So you could have given up 4 goals at home against an average team. We can't sit right with anyone who love Jamaican football and watch us play quite a bit. That doesn't make sense. And so here's what I don't understand to Coach. Here's what I don't understand, Coach. So I hear this narrative all the time, and I'm hearing it from Rob Smith now, talking about some of the players weren't impressive in training. That's why the coach don't pick them. If you're picking players when they come to the national window just based on training, you are the problem as a coach. Because you have no idea. I don't know what you're doing when you're doing your scouting. If you think training environment is the main criteria to pick a player to play your national team, I have no idea what a training session you're going to have, like 2 sessions or 3 sessions where the player's been playing all their life. See them playing, whether it's League 1 or League 2, you watch them a game after game after game, you watch film, you watch YouTube, and then you're saying couple of training sessions are the principal reason why I make the selection. I'm scratching my head as to what you're talking about. You have to do your homework to figure out, first of all, the player playing football, who they're playing against, what's the level of competition, how are they playing? You see them in different situations. Because training, I don't want to use like Alan Ivan said, you're talking about practice, but it's only a few sessions if you watch what you're going through. There's not enough in training to provide substantial or enough evidence about whether or not a player can be the player you're looking for. But you have to do your homework to get that intelligence. It can't just be training.
Something they make a good point still, you know. Eagle Republic is saying that the 2-0 scoreline probably would have caused the coach to alter his game plan. And the fact is that could be right.
What do you mean in terms of what?
In terms of probably playing some players that he wanted to play. But for me, that could be a basket carrying water because the man still never made no change at halftime.
So I'll say this, Coach, which is, I thought Nicholson didn't have a terrible game, but Nicholson has been scoring for a while. He was poor offensively in the Gold Cup. He carried over that form in the first half of this game. So even though I think he was getting in good position, he never looked like he's going to score a goal. And even though I want a player to be holistic in when they're playing, so they got to have other attributes apart from scoring. In today's football, you need to be just more than a scorer. If you're just send a forward and put the ball in the net, I have to think of alternatives. Because I don't have time to give you the latitude to allow you to show me that you can score because you haven't been scoring for a while now. Even though you're getting in good positions. So you may be playing well, but if you're not scoring, and the others, but the only other person that feels scoring is Gray now. Bailey's not scoring. We may get once a while, we get a goal from my Fulham friend. Bobby. The other midfielders are not scoring. The defenders are not scoring. So where are you going to get the goals from? So if Nichols is not scoring, and we know Gray's in and out of games, and other players are not scoring, I got to think of alternatives. Then you're saying you have no scorers on the bench. You're saying Cephas can't score or somebody else on the bench can't score. He brought on Williams. He didn't bring on Cephas. He brought on Williams, right? Who got a penalty. So maybe he hasn't seen Cephas enough. And if he hasn't seen him enough, who recommends Cephas to him?
The assistant coach.
And then did he take a look at Cephas and look at tapes and look at his games in Turkey to see, or his previous games for his previous club? Did he do enough homework on Cephas to see, you know what, does he fit into my team? Don't know is the right
try.
thing. We don't know a lot.
As I said, coach, for me, substitutions are always hindsight, So, despite us going down 2-0 in the first half, there's always a level of expectancy from certain coaches, So, that's why I probably didn't make certain changes. And then, probably if we did make certain changes and we went on to lose, would have been having a different conversation,
Yeah, but football religion is almost like we lost the game. Didn't you realize that? We're not talking as if we won. We felt we lost the game.
Mm-hmm.
A draw against an inferior team.
No, but Cranky, you see
Yeah.
when the game did about to start, I said this, 80 is one of our bogey team, when we have the watch along, and a lot of people, it miss a lot of people, because over the years we have not had a walkover over 80. That are the truth, Same like Panama is a team that we don't do well against. It's the same thing. With 80, we not always a beat up 80 and I kick them in them face and I do all of that. No.
No, I agree, but Haiti were missing a number of their key players. And secondly, they didn't play well.
But the youth will score the goal, the forward, the young youth. He hungry. That's why young
Cranky,
youth are playing a team in the money. Them hungry for
No, he played well. He played well.
Cranky, wouldn't you say playing well is subjective to you in the sense that you're trying to mask over the outcome of the game? Like, is it that you're trying to discredit Haiti?
Haiti didn't play well enough. Football, Roger, you watch the game.
No, but as I said, playing well is subjective.
No, we were a much better team, and we never dominated possession. We were a much better team. We just made mistakes after mistakes after mistakes.
Would you say but teams force you to make mistakes, right? You put players in uncomfortable positions, you press players.
They're inferior team to us. We play a certain way.
I thought
they're inferior. When you look at the game, you look at the team, at no time, here's what's interesting. I'm not sure if I felt this about any team in any game. At no time during the game did I think we were going to lose. Even though we probably should have lost, given how much chances they have. But the way the runners play and I watch the game, I'm like, they're not a good team. They're not a good team. Now, we scored 2, 1 fluke goal and 1 penalty, but we had chances.
Yeah, but then again,
they may not have been like Haiti's chances, but we had good chances.
I feel like most of those chances were percentage chances, It wasn't clear-cut chances.
Well, no, Nicholson. Let me point out something to you. Nicholson. Here's the thing about Jamaica.
In the 5 minutes, right?
But here's the thing about Jamaica. We don't think headers are clear-cut. We never value headers as chances. Nicholson's header in the first half was a clear-cut chance in the first 5 minutes of the game. He should have put it away.
Coach, I think
or at least hit the target.
You think the Nicholson header was a clear-cut chance?
It's a clear-cut chance.
It's kind of 50-50.
It's a clear-cut chance. The ball go to far post. He had the ball out of bounds. He had no contest on the header. He got a clear head. He should hit the target. Second chance was a situation where Pinnock's one that he saved was a chance. The one he took off the line was a chance. Yeah, there was a lot of chances. There were quite a few chances. Nicholson got behind the one he shot over the bar when he was under pressure, I'd agree, but he wasn't composed with a chance. We got chances. We got 4 big chances. They had 4 big chances, maybe 5. The one that the kid missed kick wasn't a chance, it was a offside. But no, their chances were better than our chances because they frankly should have scored 4 of the ones they got. Theirs were clear cut. But in terms of possession of play, in terms of build of play, they weren't doing much except staying low block and encountering. And then we were playing into their hands. The 2 goals that scored on the right side in the first half, that Lowe made mistakes on. He's an experienced player playing this game for a long time. And he's rushing in or he's vacating his position and allowing the opposition to take advantage of it. That shouldn't be happening at this point in his career. He's too experienced for this to happen. So it's frustrating.
Hey, Robson said great block on a Leon Bailey chances.
Yes, he was on the left side. He cut in and he shot with his right foot. Maybe that's why he hit great. And that is true, actually. And it could have been on target. Who knows? That was his best play of the game, actually. That was his best play of the game, the one that Gray blocked. It was inadvertent, but he did block it. No, look, I don't want people to think that we don't want Bailey to succeed. We want him to succeed, but as it stands now, he's not playing based on expectation. And I think if he's going to get called in future windows and he's not producing, the coach has to consider whether or not, one is, do I call him? And if I call him, he's not producing, do I allow him to continue the way he's been doing? Coach has to make some tough decisions and unpopular decisions. And that not only goes for Bailey, it goes for every player. But he's the person that's most prominent because he's getting the most playing time, and we're not seeing the productivity from his game. And I heard someone came on and said the other day in some forum, I heard him say that when Whisper came on, he changed the game. And I said, no one should listen to you because you have no idea what you're talking about. Even though I like Whisper as a player, seasoned people, watch football should make those comments, which has no place in terms of being factual or being valuable in terms of a comment. Just didn't make any sense. But at the end of the day, we all want the same thing, which is for Jamaica to play good football, for us to win, and most importantly, I do want to watch us in the World Cup in 2026. I don't want to go watch any other team unless Jamaica is not there. And my hope is that the coach will continue his recruiting, which is he probably gets about a 7 so far recruiting, pushing up to an 8. But the rest of the stuff that he's doing, I want him to recruit well. Even if he can't coach. Even if he can't coach, I don't care. Just go get the best players. They'll figure it out. Because sometimes players can play around it. They'll figure it out. If you go get the KWP, if you go get the Gaddafi player, I don't want to call names. If you go get the left back for Crystal Palace, go get them. I hear those names being thrown out. If you're going to convince Hayden that he will never make England team, because Calvin Phillips is not playing football and we have him consider him, it's time he changes allegiance. We've been asking him for a while. Go get them. And I'm sure they'll figure it out on the field. Because when you are a good footballer, you'll show up on the field at some point.
Hey, Dukla, you see the message of Dukla sent a cranky?
No, what message did Duklan send me? I haven't been reading.
It's geared towards him. So look what I live to see. When I was saying Bailey was supposed to be benched, the same cranky thought I crazy. I saw this months ago.
What is Duklan talking about? Who? Coach. You know the coach thing about this coach? That these shows are recorded, coach. I am the one who get the most grief talking about Bailey. I get grief. I get negative comments from people. Here's an example, coach. So this is live. Ketterak wasn't there. When I was in Orlando 2 years ago and I watched Bailey play, I was complaining that they should take him off the field. There was no Jamaican in the stands around me who agreed with me. You know what they told me? He's not playing well, but he's the star player. He has to stay on. We came to see him. That's what I was the only player. My nephew was giving me a hard time, like, Uncle, you can't keep saying that because they're not agreeing with you. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm only focused on performance. So for Duklan to make such a statement, Duklan, you're confusing me with somebody else. This is Stan Kroenke, Duklan. You have me confused with someone else. I don't defend players who are not playing well. That's not part of my repertoire. I don't do that. That's not how I think. I defend people who are playing well. Unless there's an overwhelming reason as to why someone's not playing well, I can't defend you. So I can't recall ever saying that. So Cataract, you're here.
You sure done?
Yeah, you came when we were signing off. But maybe that's a good thing. Because we'd have to just not get a word in. And I like to speak sometimes to get my 2 words in. When you're here, I struggle to get a few words in. But and I have a Cataract perspective on these things, which is I think we're aligned sometimes in terms of direction of travel and what we need to do. And he's probably in agreement that some players haven't played well, and probably we need alternatives. We do need alternatives.
Demar Phillips should be in our midfield. I have been saying it months now.
Cataract, I called him 3 times. He appear like Cataract.
Who calling him?
Demar Phillips. something quite interesting, coach, is that in nowadays football, we're not seeing a lot of quality midfielders
Mm.
in a lot of different teams, actually. I mean, I don't see any in the JPL, which they can just plug into the national team. And we don't have many overseas who may have Jamaican parentage or Jamaican affiliation who we can plug into the team who want to play for us. We don't see the quality. We have a lot of wingers. Think about it. Up front, for example, we have the Stewart, the Cephas, the Nicholson, the Baileys, the Grays, the potential what's his name from Arsenal, Nelson. We have a bunch of players, even the green ones of the world. But when you talk about midfield, we're not seeing the quality midfield that we want to see. And the midfield is the heart of your team. So maybe we need to I've been saying this for a while now. Maybe some players need to be converted to play in the midfield position versus trying to go after ready-made midfielders,
Such as
some of who may not be good enough.
who you think could be converted?
As it stands now, to play a 10, I think Gray could play the 10. I think Gray could play the 10. Give him his vision, he can play the 10. Where Bobby Reed plays. Because Bobby Reed is not the most creative. I would probably put Bobby Reed at right back, frankly. Because if you're trying to look for more offense and you want your defense to be part of that offense, then you have to think about reposition the team. I'd probably put Bobby Reed at right back. He's probably as good as anybody we have there with more offensive skill. I put Gray in the 10. Then people like Whisper can play their position. Bailey can play their position, even though I think Bailey has run his course, frankly. Or if you're bringing in Nelson, can play out wide. Because even some of the players we're recruiting, they're mainly either on the wings into the right or left back, or they're wingers or center forwards. There's not too many midfielders that we can call out that play in the Premier League or even the Championship who we're saying, you know what, they're exceptional quality, so they should be the team. We're not seeing that.
Yeah, I mean, pertaining to the midfield, personally for me, I don't think the midfield has to be the most, creative in some sense. I think if we can develop some form of structure in terms of, the work rate, etc., that will, as of right now, will probably make up for some deficiencies that we have on the creative side of things, And despite our lackluster midfield, I don't think we work hard enough to make up for those deficiencies, So
I don't think you have any team in world football who is very good who doesn't have a creative midfielder. None that I can think of that's very, very good. Not necessarily a 10. So Man City doesn't play with a 10, but De Bruyne is creative, right? Silva is creative. So there's rare, if you look at a team, you don't have to have a 10, because 10 sometimes don't want to do the work. And you want all your 11 players to be working. But you want to make sure you have someone who can be incisive, who can split a defense, who can create something out of nothing. Because sometimes you need that, especially in tight games. If you look at the US, Pulisic, Musa, Reina, they're littered with creative players. And now you had in the Weah and the Balogun to their team. You look at their midfield, right? They have stellar midfielders who can, like McKinney and Adams, who can play the CDM role or do the dirty work. But then they have the Reinas and the Musas and the Pulisic who are very creative, who can play anywhere along the forward line or even drop in the 10 position.
Yeah,
and that's what you need a creativity throughout your team, especially in the opposition, in the offensive side, I should say, of your team, because you need to create something out of nothing sometime. You need to mesmerize the defense. You need to score a goal. You need to create something. And if you don't have that, it becomes very, very difficult. Then you got to work hard and hope that something manifests itself. And that doesn't work.
Tyreke McGee. I think we spoke about Tyreke McGee a couple nights ago.
Tyreke McGee comes up quite a bit. People mention Tyreke McGee and his creativity. Tyreke is creative. I've seen Tyreke up live and personal. But Tyreke doesn't have enough in his game, I think, to play consistently at the international level. His game needs to improve quite a bit for him to be a constant in the team.
Yeah, and time is going on his side, each year he's getting older, so I think he's 24, 25 now. There's still time, but I know that he moved to the USL and he's not playing much, so.
Well, if you left from overseas and you moved to the USL, which is one level below the MLS, which is not a top league, and even then you're struggling, and you want to go play against players who play for the US and for Mexico who are playing in the top leagues in the world, and some of them are flourishing, then that gap is huge. And at some point, that gap is going to show up on the field.
Yeah. As I
So
said,
McGee will have to uplift his game to be considered, as far as I'm concerned.
yeah, there's definitely a quality player in there, but he needs to be playing at a consistent level, at least in a good respective league, week in,
And I
week
think
out.
sometimes we sometimes focus on say people are quality, but we haven't seen them against a certain level of competition to really discern whether or not they truly are quality.
I'd say to a certain extent, every footballer has quality. I wouldn't want to discredit anyone. Sometimes it depends on the team that you're playing that will enhance your quality as a player. Because then again, you look at some players, right? Midfielder in particular, midfielder can be creating all the chances for a striker. And, once that striker isn't finishing those chances, then it kind of does look bad on the midfielder.
Well, no, it would be very obvious to the audience that the problem is the striker, right? But
In
we don't
some
have midfielders
instances.
doing that. Even the chances we created in a lot of these games, it wasn't if a midfielder did something that put the forward through and goal. Now, but it's a forward putting each other through and goal. We're not having the midfielders do that. When we played in the Gold Cup, we played with two deep, so we only had one roamer. So we really didn't have. In fact, when we played in the Gold Cup, we didn't know if we were playing 4-2-4 or 4-3-3 most of the times because Bobby Reed was playing up front with Antonio most of the time, it appears. So we have never seen that midfield really dominating games. Against Haiti was probably one of the more prominent games that we have played, and we still struggle in that game to put the ball in the net. So
I have a question for you, right, Cranky? To where the level of Jamaican football is at and the national team, do you think as fans and as fans of other respective teams in different leagues, you think we're clouded with our judgment of the national team in certain instances to where we want the team to be? Do you think we're a bit far-fetched at
look, I
times?
think it's been mentioned previously that people say we have our expectations. We're used to winning as a people. We know what good look like, and therefore that's what expectation has to be. And frankly,
Yeah, but you
but
know what
everybody wants
good,
to. But go to the
you
point
know
here.
what good
Everybody wants to
look
get to
like,
the World
right?
Cup. Go ahead.
No, you know what good look like, but in what period of time of Jamaican football are you basing it off international football from other teams? You know what good looks like that you'd want to see in the Jamaican team? Because that's why it comes down for me, like what the coach wants to implement, like his philosophy, his not necessarily style of play, but what in general what he wants to implement. I don't think it's fair for us as fans to be picking from different teams that's at a higher level over the number of years and then expect that in 1 year we're going to be at that level.
I don't think anyone's talking about. This been a long journey. You're young. You say you were born 1970, so
No,
I can
22.
understand. But we've been going about this for a long, long time. Their expectations. We have a certain view of our football acumen and football ability, and we're used to performing. We're a small country from a high level on the world stage. We have been to the World Cup before, the first Caribbean island to do so. Well, English speaking, I should say, because Haiti went before us. So I think we have an expectation. I want to address something that somebody said in the chat. I think his name is Slickstone. He says, Carla, you think you know everything. Shut up, Magiabala. Slickstone. I think there's a
A
way,
slingshot, me call him, cranky.
whatever he is, there's a way to communicate to people. And it's very negative, derogatory, belittling, disparaging to tell someone to shut up. You don't even know the person. I'm expressing a view. The link is there for you to jump on, but you haven't jumped on. So we can't hear your perspective except your negativity in terms of how you want to address me. It's not called for. You can find a way to communicate like I'm doing to say, you know what? I don't agree with your point of view. But telling someone to shut up, that's how that causes confrontation. And it goes with the whole thing about life, about decision making. No one say you can't have a diverse opinion, but it's how you articulate that opinion. Telling somebody to shut up and you think you know everything, you have a chance to express your view. You're not expressing your view. Are you afraid? Are you a wimp? Is that you're not confident in your communication skill why you're not coming on to speak? Let's come and hear your voice, except being in the background saying, shut up and go away, you think you know everything. I'm giving my opinion. No one's preventing you from giving your opinion. In fact, you're doing it in the chat, but you're not doing it in a manner which is probably digestible for Christ's sake. So That is what bothers me. Nobody's saying you don't have a view. You can come. I come off the program and you can join. Why don't we do that? Why don't we trade places? You come on, cause I drop the link, and let's hear your perspective instead of telling me to shut up. Why don't you do that? I'm a drop coach. Let Slingshot come on. No, Slingstone, whatever the hell his name is, and let's hear your perspective, both the coach, the team, and your view. Things you said me think me know everything. I
Slingshot,
think I know enough to be dangerous. I don't know everything.
Slingshot, I go miss Cranky.
Huh? He's gonna miss?
Yeah, man, him I go miss.
But he's not want to come on and debate his point.
Yeah,
But he's gonna be in the background throwing stone over the wall
that's
and
why I'm a
being
slingshot.
what
That's
I call
why I'm
a wimp.
That's why I'm a slingshot. Anyways, we're gonna close the show right there, so Cranky. We're not gonna prolong the argument. But really appreciate you being here again as usual. Some solid points from you. Football, religion. Big up yourself too. Yeah, go on with that thing too. We're not lie.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with football religion. Football religion, if you're 23 years old, I don't think I was talking football in a public forum at 23.
I just want to state as well.
I probably was behind the wall hiding like slingshot and throwing something over the wall.
I just wanted to find out, you coach football as well, coach, or just track?
Football, man.
Okay. I think I was stating a couple nights ago, the conversation I really wanted to have was I guess we can do it next time about coaching education in Jamaica and development of coaches, because I'm here in the US, living here, and I'm doing my badges as well. So the contrast between doing it in America and Jamaica is quite different. Because before
you're 23 and doing your badges?
Yeah, I was
trying. That's a good thing.
I left Jamaica, I was trying to do. This was like before the pandemic, but eventually I made it.
Now that's a great thing, actually.
So, which level you at now?
I'm at the D course.
D course you're doing. Is that a way you can just do the D course by yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think yeah. We have to progress today. Yeah, man. Know the process.
So it's
I think something that they tell with you know. When name Jeremy and they tell with Cranky. Say I don't know if you remember Jeremy, but Jeremy did tell us that him that do it too. Good thing. Football and religion. Just go and do it.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, God forbid when I reach the World Cup. Hopefully we reach. We can take them go one day, or maybe again if them go 2026.
So I see this quote. We'll say this quote before I go, coach, which is fans for every team that I know of, and we all follow Premier League. A lot of us have an expectation. They will support, and if they're doing well, they're happy. Even some who are doing well are not happy, coach, as you know. Because I'm not totally happy with my team, even though we're at 10 points, right? That's what happens. We're fans, and it comes from being fanatic. That's who we are. And we're fanatic about our teams, and even more so for the national team in a lot of instances, especially the more close we are to a national team and we're out to the island. So we all want a team to win. I'm not in the camp to say I want to beat anybody. Because I hear people say that all the time, I want to beat this person and then get all excited, like they are more Popovich show. No, that's not the objective. The objective is not to beat people. But if you call out, if you see things which you think are not going well and not being addressed, you're going to call it out. Because you want the team to do well, you're going to call it out. Now, you can call out in a way which people can appreciate what you're saying, or you can call it in a very derogatory way. I'm trying not to do that. That may happen with me sometimes. That's not the goal. The goal is to call out what you're seeing, what you think is not going right, give your perspective and your view. And some people may agree with you, some may not. But we're not monolithic. People are going to have their different of opinion. And that's fine, because if we were all doing do the same thing, it'd be boring. So,
yeah, man. All right, so big up yourself again, football and religion. Big up Cranky, big up Coach Devon who was on. Big up to all the people in the comment section. Big up to the viewers and subscribers. Big up yourself if you like the video. If you have not done so, please do so on your way out. So until next time, hopefully we'll be here tomorrow to have some more solid discussion where the football is concerned. Because me still have a beating forgive as Cranky no like that term that's still in about me, yeah man, me still have a beating forgive the president, what do you call him? Prospective president, what you call him? The builder Raymond and this. I mean, you know, him want to be president and him say man a leader.
What do you mean? President for what? President for what?
No, the JFF, man.
What? There's a new JFF? I didn't know there was a new JFF. There's a new JFF? I didn't know that. Man can't lead himself, but he want lead JFF. Man, stay here, yeah, man.
The
Man,
man
stay
say,
here.
I
Stay
am
here.
not
Stay
a
here.
leader, I'm a team player.
You want to lead that organization, but you're not a leader. You can't even lead. You can't lead yourself. We want to come lead other people. And we want to lead a country. You're mad. No, here's my view on that, coach, which is we want the JFF to do well. We want the players to do well. We want the team to do well. We want everyone to do well. And you know what? I'm gonna say this before I go, coach.
Mhm.
We're sometimes not as divisive as we think we are, you know. I'm gonna give you an example where I go. When I first went to the military, I went to Hawaii, was where I was stationed. And I was like 18 then. And the Jamaicans who were there took care of me. Probably was about 8, 9 of us. Everyone who come into the organization who was Jamaican heritage, things may have changed over a while because, you know, numbers change that. We bring you in, we feed you. If you can't drive, we teach you how to drive. We play on the same team. We go to each other's house. So when you're in community where you're not part of the majority and you feel a sense of homeness because people bring you in, we can't do that. When we get to a certain numbers, then that sort of dissipate and it goes away. It's not the same. So I say that to say this, which is we sometimes can, as a people, get together. When it comes to sport, we need to do that, actually.
Sure. Yeah, man. All right, big up yourself. So, people,
Bless up, coach.
tomorrow we're up on a train for the second night of a triple treat. You understand? Until next time, big up.
Your style and your flavor make the city rock. They must say the season come out with a bang. Coach Minzy, best round here. Remember that.